Welcome to Papa in the kitchen, guys. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make this caldo de res. Perfect for a cold winter day. Very filling and super cheap. Let's go. Alright guys, so here's what we're going to be using. I got 2 stalks of celery, 2 carrots, 1 jalapeno. I'm going to deseed this because not everybody in my family likes spice, but you don't have to if you like yours a little bit spicier. But I got 1 jalapeno, 1 chayote, 2 potatoes, 1 zucchini squash. This is the Mexican zucchini. 1 onion, a little bit of cabbage, a head of garlic, 2 bullion cubes of beef stock, and a little bit of cilantro that I'm going to use. So I'm going to go ahead and get all my veggies prepped, and then we'll start getting it put together. Forgot to add, guys, I'm also going to be using 2 corn cobs. Alright guys, here I have my beef that I'm going to be using for the stew, for the caldo. It's just a cheap cut. I honestly don't know the name of this cut in English. I just found it at the store, and I live here in Baja California in Mexico, and the labels are in Spanish, so I don't really know the cut in English. But it's got plenty of meat on there, it's got some fat, and it's got plenty of bones, and that makes it perfect for this stew, so that's why I'm using it, and it was cheap. It's going to feed the whole family. So I went ahead and seasoned it generously with salt and pepper already, and I'm going to get these in the pan with a little bit of oil and sear them on both sides, and then we'll pull them out, and then we'll be starting our stock with the carrots, the celery, and the onion. There's those crazy girls running around. Let's get to the stove. So here I got a little bit of oil in my pan, and I'm going to go ahead and get these seared off on both sides. And I'm just looking for a good sear on them. Alright guys, so once you got a little bit of color on there, that's all I'm looking for, is just browning it, getting it a little seared. I'm going to go ahead and pull these out and set them aside for now. Now in the same pan, guys, I went ahead and added a little bit more oil, and I'm going to go ahead and drop in my carrots, celery, and onion. I'm going to try and get all that brown beef goodness off of the bottom of the pan and get that flavor into this onion and celery and carrots. Now I'm going to go ahead and season these with some salt and pepper also. I got my salt and pepper in there, and I'm just going to mix them, and I'm going to cook these down until they're soft and the onion is translucent. Alright guys, so now that the onions are translucent, and as you can see I pretty much cleaned the bottom of the pan off, made sure I scraped all that beef flavor into the onions, I'm going to go ahead and put my beef back in there and add my broth basically, which is going to be water. If you have beef stock, definitely use beef stock. But since I don't have it, we're going to be using some water and some of the bullion cubes that I showed you guys. So we're going to put my beef back in there. Like that. I want to make sure I get all the little juices that came out of it on the plate that I was holding it on. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my water in there. I'm going to drop a garlic head that I cut in half, just like that in there. We're going to pull that out later, so we could just put that in there now for the flavor. And I'm going to drop in my bullion cubes also. I'm going to cover that up with a little bit of water to make sure that all the meat is submerged. Then I'm going to go ahead and put my lid on and let that cook for a little bit, about 10-15 minutes. We'll skim off some of the fat that comes off, and we'll add some veggies in there. Okay, so while I was waiting for the beef to cook, I went ahead and got the rest of my veggies cut. I cut my corn like this. You can cut it bigger or smaller, depends on your liking. I kind of like the big chunks of corn in there. I got my zucchini. Everything I did pretty big. My jalapeno I de-seeded and sliced in half. My potatoes, pretty big. my chayote, and the cabbage also. And here I got my cilantro. So this is all ready just to go into the pot when I need to put it in. And I'm going to go ahead and go skim some of the fat and that comes off of the beef. So let's go do that. Alright guys, so here you see all this foam and fat. We want to skim that off with a spoon and just get all of that out of there. So I'm going to just be working that and get it all out. Alright guys, so as you can see, I got most of it out of there. There's going to be some left in there that you just can't get, or you know, if you're a perfectionist, maybe you can get it all out, but I'm satisfied with that. So I'm going to go ahead and start adding some of my veggies in here now. So first I'm going to throw in my jalapeno. Then I'm going to throw in some cilantro. Then I'm going to throw in my chayote. Then I'm going to go ahead and throw in my potatoes. Once I got all that in there, I'm going to, well, first actually I'm going to add a little bit more broth to mine because I want to make sure it's got enough broth in there. And then I'm going to let that cook for about 10-15 minutes. And then I'll be adding my corn in there. Guys, so next I'm going to go ahead and add my corn. Alright guys, so after that I'm going to go ahead and add my cabbage. And I'm actually going to separate this a little bit before I add it in there, but I'll show you guys once it's in there. Just like that guys, got it all in there mixed in. And I'm going to let that cook again for another 15-20 minutes, and then I'll be finishing it up. And this is all cooking on low now, by the way. I'll be finishing it up by adding the zucchini in last, because that only takes about 5 minutes to cook, so you want to add that in at the very end. Last but not least, we're going to add the zucchini. I'm going to get all that mixed in there, cook it for another 7 minutes or so, and shut it off. And it's done. Alright guys, there you have it. Plated. It's going to be delicious. I'm going to eat it with a little bit of lime juice in there. It's going to be so good. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Catch you next time.